guys, Miss Brown Butterfly 1 here. I am here. I've been sewing masks since March. So I wanted to share with you guys how I've made my mask. And it's really simple. All you need is material and elastic, scissors, sewing machine. But I haven't gotten into all the intricate parts of trying to be some seamstress, which I am not. So I've been working with two different patterns to make the mask. So this is one that I've already completed with the elastic. This is a large size here. And then this is a child size. So I've cut out the pattern. This is the pattern for the large side. And you can go on Google and Google pattern. But I picked up this pattern here from Hobby Lobby. And they give you this handout. You can go to Hobby Lobby and get that pattern. But also I downloaded Mimi G's also. So I use this one here for female. Because it's a smaller version. And it fits dead on because I've made several and sold several. So I have my patterns here, and I've already sewed the middle part in on the front and the back. This is a 3 level. I'm going to show you what this one looks like. This is 3 layers, not level. Okay, so this is going to be the back part of the, well, however they decide, they can decide which one they want to face the outside. But this is 1 layer, and then this is the second layer, and then on the inside I got this. It's a 100% cotton, but it feels felt like. So this is what I'm using for the extra layer inside the mask. So, and it gives it a little bit of a weight, and it doesn't let the light in. So when you're choosing your material, it's suggested that you use 100% cotton, only because it's breathable, and you also can wash it or, put it in the microwave to disinfect it. But I find that if you put your material together and you hold it up to the light, and the less you see through it, the better off your material is. If you can see directly through your cotton material, that means you need to layer it up. Because if someone cough or sneeze, you're able to inhale through the material. So my advice is to make sure you layer if you don't have the filter. I ran out of filters, and it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks before I could get more. So I decided to layer up so you can have that protection. They're not N95 protection per se, but it won't let anything in. And if someone sneezes on you on the outside, you be sure to not touch it, but go home and spray it down with some Lysol or put it in the microwave, and that way it will kill all germs that's on top. So I've already layered. I've pinned this together. So I take my, let me see if I can put you guys down a little more so you can see. So I take my elastic, and I ordered this. It just came in, so I'm able to hit the road running now again. So I'm going to take this, insert it in between the top layer and the back layer. And I'm just going to go in it. It recommends that you do just a ½ an inch from the top of the mask, because you can see how it's curved. So you go from the top of the mask, and I take my pins and close it back so you can pin all 3 layers together, and you just pin it. About to stick myself. And you just pin it together, and make sure you penetrate the elastic so it don't move when you decide to go ahead and sew it. So you make sure it's not flipped or twisted or anything, because when you fold it inside out for wear, then you don't want the elastic to be twisted, because that's very uncomfortable. So I'm just simply putting it between the material, and just make sure your material is flat like that. I'm not ironing them. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just simply assembling them. And I have 8 to make today and mail out. So if you guys can see my workstation, just ignore it. Don't judge me. I've been really, really busy. Today is my off day from the salon. I have been back in the salon a couple of days a week, but it's nothing like before. So if they don't call me, I don't go. But anyway, back to the mask. So that's how we're making it. So you want to make sure you line everything up together. Make sure you line everything together. And when you put, I suggest you go ahead and pin the top first, because that kind of give you a little stability. So you just kind of make sure it's aligned before you start pinning and sewing, because you don't want it to be off. Because if it's off, then the person that receives it or wears it, they're going to say, ooh, that feels funny. So anyway, and for men, I use 7 inches of elastic. And then for women, I use 6 inches of elastic. So yeah, I'm going to pin this. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to go to my machine. And kudos to my son, because who knows? The first time I pulled my machine out, I was making my granddaughter some lace socks, because Easter time, I couldn't find her any socks. And I wanted her to have on some lace socks. So I bought lace and bought some socks, and I sold my baby some lace socks. So yeah. Like I said, make sure you penetrate the elastic. So we're going to go over to the machine. I'm going to turn you. We're going to go over to the machine, and I always go from the bottom of one side and go around the top. And then I sew the bottom, then I can close it in. So I flip it inside out at the bottom. So I'll show you guys that. Let me just put it on the machine. And the pins just kind of hold everything in place. I hope you guys can see it. So before I put the machine on to sew, I take the needle out, because I don't want to hit the needle with my needle in the machine, because it'll break it. So that's your starting point. So you got it here. I'm going to let it down, and then you just kind of look to see where the needle is going to come down at. And like I said, I'm no seamstress, but this is easy. You don't have to be a seamstress to make a mask. So I'm just going to start it off, and I'm going to go back and forth over the elastic so it don't come apart once I flip the material over. Okay? So I'm going, and I'm going to hit this other elastic. I got to take my pin out. Boop. I just slide them out. Sometimes they fly out. But yeah, that's all we're doing. Hit the elastic, then I go backwards over it again. And then I go back over it again. And that's just for the security in the elastic. So you're going to pivot to go along the top of it. And make sure you're not sewing on the elastic. So you kind of have to feel, what I do is feel to make sure the elastic is out of the way, so you don't want to sew it down to the material. So that way, you know, you don't have to go in and rip it open and do it over. So I'm just going around the top. Just around the top. And then before you get to the pins, make sure you take them out, because you don't want to hit that. And you can do this if you're a hand sewer really good. You can do this. Okay, and then you pivot again, lift it up, pivot. And then I take this pin out. And then I'm going to let it back down and continue on. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm coming up on some elastic, so I want to make sure it's out of the way. So you kind of just scoot it. Yeah. And then you continue on. And let me take my pin out. And I want to make sure I got my elastic. Okay. And then I'm going to pivot. I'm still holding my elastic. So you pivot your material. And be careful. You don't want to bunch it up. Okay. Okay, I'm going over the material. Now I'm going to go back over it. I mean the elastic. I'm going to go back over it. And then I'm just going to go down. Take my pin out. Hold my elastic. Make sure I'm not. Okay, I'm going to go backwards. And that's just for security. And then I'm going to pivot. I'm going along the bottom. And then it's really simple. It's really a quick and easy mask. And I just wanted to come on and share with you guys, you know, how it's made. And it doesn't require a whole lot of whatever. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. Cut the thread. And then I'm going to, flip it inside out. So you leave a little opening, at least 2 to 3 inches open here. And then you flip it inside out. And see, when you flip it, there's the elastic. I'm going to flip it inside out. And you go back and forth so it doesn't come apart. So here it is. I've flipped it back and inside out. That's the front, or however they choose to wear it, and that's the solid part. And then let me turn you guys this way so you can see it a little better. So there it is. And on the bottom, I'm just going to tuck the material. And what I've been doing, just to kind of make it look uniform, because it just suggests you just close it up here. But what I've been doing is just kind of hitting that seam all the way across there, just to make it look uniform, you know, and not just some strip on one side. So, I mean, FYI, if you choose to, you can. It is not a requirement, but I just want it to look more uniform. So that's why I'm doing that way. So you just want to kind of find the seam, tuck it in, and then I usually can tuck it without having to pin it, but can't. There. And you just kind of tuck it so you can hit the ends of it. So I'm going back to the machine, and I'm going to close this up. So, and make sure your material is there, because you want to close it up. You don't want to look and see it's not closed. So I'm going to put it under the machine, close it down. I'm sorry, y'all, for that shadow. I'm still trying to get this lighting together. So, let me see. I'm sorry. Okay. So you get it down, and you go ahead and start with there it is. And you start it, and then you want to take it backwards so it don't come apart at the end. Okay, that's what you do. And I'm just going to take it all the way to the other end of the mask. Yeah, just to make it look uniform. You don't have to do it, but something in me is just tell me to do it, just to make it look uniform. And then I just kind of run it off the side, pull it off. That happens a lot to me. I always pull the foot of it off, which is okay. So I just clip it, clip all the thread off of it, and then you make it look nice and neat. So here we are. Here's the mask. Very simple and easy. So with this order, I have 2 more to make, and then, but like I said, it's really easy. Do I have one of the women? I don't have one made up. I don't have one. These are all the patterns that I don't have one of the ladies that I have made up. I've already mailed those out. But yeah, guys, this is Miss Brown Butterfly 1. Just a simple, quick 5-minute mask. If you're new to it, it'd probably take you about 30 minutes to make one. But yeah, these are simple sew masks. If you want patterns, Google them. Go to Mimi G Styles on YouTube. Go to Hobby Lobby. Gave me a pattern also, and I used that because it has a larger face. Oh, let me see. Here's one. This is the women that I use, and it's much smaller than the men. So yeah, go out there and find your pattern. Simple. You don't really need a sewing machine if you want to hand sew. But again, guys, be safe out there because you know what's going on. This is Miss Brown Butterfly 1. I have shown you how to make a 10-minute mask. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.